The Windshield Deep podcast presented by McAllister Precision Marketing.
Sets her to lead. Lazard cuts to the bottom.
Oh my God!
He
Are you
shoves him
kidding
out
me?
of the way.
Windshield Deep podcast.
Ran the limited race here last night. Got spun in that one. Had to come from the back. Still finished in the top three for that matter.
The Windshield Deep podcast.
Solid run here tonight. He's now cracked the top 10.
I would be pissed and try to wreck me too, run all over me if I was getting my ass kicked by a limited as well. And so, you ain't gonna get a break. I understand it's a bull range, but there's always next time. I got a good memory.
Dylan Wilson, he says he's not going to forget this one, Tony.
The voice of grassroots racing.
That is a high-quality, high-octane intro. Hopefully, all the audio stuff is better. I know last week we had some issues with it. I know the video's a little behind here. We'll be caught up here in just a sec. But yeah, so we got a lot to talk about as far as the last week's race, the car store 30,000 to win deal. Stefan, I know you. I can't see. A little bit of a glare here. Sorry. Stefan, I know you went to go watch it, or were you there, or did you just watch on TV?
I watched on Cars.
Yeah,
TV.
same here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we can just run it down. I mean, that's the talk of the week. There was 38 entries. 28 made the show. Correct. Right. 28 or 30.
No, they started one extra because Hill uses provisional.
Yeah. Okay. So 29.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so-
it was 29. I'm pretty sure it was 29 because when I was looking at it, I'm like, what the heck? Because I thought they were only starting 28, but then I remembered.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're a touring 12 and you use your provisional, they just tag you on to the end of the field.
And you can only use it one time a year.
Yeah.
You have a one-time.
Yeah, you get one provisional per touring 12 driver.
Why would
Yeah.
you not use it for that race? It's
Yeah.
30 grand to win.
30 grand to win. That's the one to use it for sure. So 38 entries. They had heat races, and they also had a last chance qualifier. It was a eventful day and a very expensive day, I would say, for a lot of guys that ran it. I would hate to know the final bill after buying 4.5+ sets of tires. Everybody got a couple tires at any given point that they wanted, I guess, during the race. Everybody played a different strategy. Most of the guys waited until 50 to go, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Right at 50 to go, they had a competition caution, maybe 30 to go, something like that, before they actually used the last one. So
I'm going to say that
But there was definitely some strategy that played out, but we'll talk about that later.
at track expense, I guarantee people spent probably at least $5,000 to go do that.
I'd say you needed at least 4 sets of tires.
Yeah,
At
for sure.
least.
yeah,
With the heat races and
I
stuff.
could even see 4.5. You know, I mean, like,
That's talking
Well, it is too extra for the race.
like if one of us went to that race and ran it, we would have bought probably 3.5 sets. We'd have bought a mock-up set
Right.
because you got to make the damn race.
Well, practice got rained out
And we've never
Friday.
been there, so it'd be nice to have a set. Now, if we, there's also a chance that we would buy 2.5 sets or 1.5. So
Well, practice did get rained out Friday, so I think that helped a little bit as far as that aspect goes. But I mean, still, you're talking. I mean, it was a 6-tire race, right? You could only put on 2 tires at a break, whenever you chose.
yeah,
So, I mean,
but it was cool seeing a lot of different strategy, and I'm okay with that. I think, obviously it's an expensive deal, but let's get into the race before we depict everything. So Taylor Gray got the pole, the defending winner of Hickory. In this race,
set a track
obviously.
record.
Yeah, set a track
13
record.
Was it a 1390 something?
Yeah.
I remember when I ran there in 2016. Like, me and Timothy Peters qualified 1-2, and we were in like a 14:27 and a 14:29, and I
Yeah.
was like, man, you're not gonna get much faster than that, and they're 3/10 faster than that now.
Yeah, they're hauling the mail for sure. It was pretty tame for 150 laps. Again, it was a 200 lap race. Everybody kept their cool. Taylor Gray made his car about 4 lanes wide.
Yeah.
He definitely gets the hardest to pass award.
He was harder to pass in the kidney
Man,
zone.
yeah.
That place is hard to pass anyway.
Yeah, but he made it even harder. He really did a good job with that. That was impressive watching that. But for such a young kid, it's cool to see someone that's obviously he's got a good spotter or has had good training up until this point. He was the same way at Hickory last year. Actually, he's the one I got sent to the rear because I wrecked him. Yeah. I didn't really wreck him, and this is when he was with Lee Falkdale, and even after the race, Michael came right up and was like, "Hey, man, it's all good. It's a racing deal." But it was just like we were both going for a spot that wasn't there.
Little side note. Did y'all see what R.D. Smith did during qualifying?
Yes, that was cool as hell.
That was incredible. Mm-hmm. So he missed the driver's meeting, I guess. So they only gave him 1 lap. So you go out, you get a dead lap, and then he had 1 lap instead of 2.
He turned around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he stopped at the end. He got a little bit loose in 3 and 4, and then just stopped on his dead lap. Yeah. Went all the way back around, and then put it on the provisional pole.
Very impressive.
Yeah. Very resourceful.
Why was it so much faster? Was it because of the how they fixed the lower groove?
Must have been.
Well, they ground something.
They leveled out some bumps basically.
Because when I ran there a couple of years ago, I mean there were cracks that you could literally stick your feet in.
Yeah.
Like on the bottom, top didn't matter. So if they fix that, ground it off a little bit. Anytime you grind asphalt or shave asphalt, it's going to pick up speed. So I'd say that definitely had something to do with it.
Yeah, but okay, so I don't know weather-wise. It seemed, I mean, I guess it was probably pretty cool, but I don't think that would have been the main contributing factor there, RJ. I think it was because of what they did to the racetrack and also the, just the overall performance of the cars. Motors are getting faster. Cars are getting better. Late models are faster, getting lighter, the whole deal. So that'll do it too.
Yeah, late models are a significant amount faster now than they were when we first started racing late models.
They're also
which is crazy to think about.
We're on bump stops now too, and that's the difference. Of a lot of track records right now are broken because of, I would say, bump stops.
This is a tangent.
We were on bump stops 2 years ago in the Cars Tour.
Yeah,
and we were running 1420s.
Yeah, but you're also running crate motors.
God, that is
mainly
awful.
Ford crates.
Yeah, I had a Ford. I think everybody had a Ford crate.
This is a tangent, real quick, but I guess this kind of fits this topic real quick. The fact that late model racing is like slowly progressing back into what NASCAR tried to get away from 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like just on the topic of the race cars getting faster, but they're also getting more expensive again. And now we're bump stopping again. And there was an issue when back when I first started racing late models, you couldn't coil bind, so you had to tape your springs.
Yeah.
So they tried to do that to save money. Well, now we're sitting on stops, and you're coil binding, and you're spending all this money doing all that. Your shocks are really expensive now, and now you've got, instead of $6,800 in a crate motor, you've got $18,000 in a motor ready to go. So it just doesn't make sense to me that, it's like a never-ending process. It's going to get super expensive and then go back to being at some point.
And they went to the bump stops and coil binding because they were trying to get rid of Renton springs. I don't see why they couldn't have just outlawed Renton springs or the progressive springs that they had that were so expensive. That's what they were getting away from because the top guys could afford the $800 a piece springs,
right?
Whereas other guys couldn't. They thought it would close the gap if you had bump stops at first it was coil binding. But, yeah, they probably could have just outlawed it and kept things a lot cheaper and not necessarily slower. I mean, it would be slower, but
also
cheaper.
Something that's hurt short or local track racing, which it's funny because, arguably the best thing for short track racing right now is the Cars Tour and the Touring Division. But it's also been the worst thing for your local tracks because really all this is getting more expensive because the Cars Tour came back. When there was no UARA and the local tracks were all you could race, Hickory was having 20 cars a weekend
from 13 to 15 really.
Right.
Was
because 14 was my first year in late model and there was race cars everywhere.
Right.
And then when the Cars Tour started, they started running what late model stuff used to run before all the NASCAR implied rules came in, and then then the local tracks had to put those rules back in the rule book just to get the cars to come back.
Yeah.
Because nobody was racing there. So it's just interesting to see how it all works out. But anyway, go back to the
we can talk more about that here. So So at the end of it, it came down to actually at one point Trevor Ward looked really, really strong. He came up through the field with the oldest tires out there, and was passing everybody with ease, except for Taylor Gray. It took him a few laps to get around Taylor, which, like I said, he made his car really wide, and that's how you win races. But anyway, he got the Newman Award, to say the least. He definitely was the hardest to pass.
The Kidney Stone Award.
But anyway, Trevor Ward came up through there, and he elected to not take tires at all, which was he would have had he taken tires, he would have went back out about 4th or 5th, but he elected not to. I think he was in the understanding that if he didn't think that his car could compete with Josh or Lee or Brandon Pierce on stickers,
On the same
but he felt like that if he took the gamble there, and that's just kind of, it's tough because I feel like you don't think you can probably win if you're on 180 lap tires and the guys behind you have 2 new right sides. But then again, if you don't take that chance and you don't win, he didn't feel like he was going to win the other way, so he felt like his best chance was staying in the lead. So I commend him for gambling. It was cool to see somebody gamble, and I was cool to see that. He had a really strong run, so hats off to Trevor Ward. It was cool to see somebody that.
I think part of that too, with Orange County, like Landon touched on, it's hard to pass there. So you actually, if you stay on all tires, I think you could see it with Timothy when they decided to not take tires in the last caution.
Yeah,
and it takes a while to actually let guys get past you. So I think that was part of the element that they were kind of banking on as well. Which they still ran pretty good. Oh yeah,
and. So at the end of it, Trevor couldn't really hold off the spots. Then the 98 Limpy, the other Junior Motorsports car, had a bad restart.
Had a couple bad restarts.
And some cars got tore up. I guess he missed a shift or whatever. Things happen. And tore a couple cars up behind him. It was who got tore up?
Heim.
Yeah, Corey Heim. Corey Heim was pretty heated. He got tore up. Corey Heim was definitely a contender to win the race as well. But at the end of it, it's what everybody wanted. It was Josh Berry versus Lee Pulliam, and that's what a lot of people picked, including myself. Lee Pulliam is who I picked. You picked Berry, so it came down to those two. And looks like the old boy, myself, is back on top of the points lead.
Not for long.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
Went downhill as hard.
Who did you pick?
Timothy.
Yeah,
he hit the wall.
You have negative 36 points.
Yeah.
Hey, you lost your.
So
that's one thing that's one thing we haven't seen a whole lot of is tires just blowing. Like we've had slow, gradual leaks, but Timothy
probably
and Ty Gibbs just straight up blew a tire, knocked the fence down.
Yeah, both
Nelson cars,
both super late models,
killed them.
Both super late models.
Both supers blew right front.
Yeah, if anybody's seen the pictures of the Nelson cars crossing the flag stand
with the freaking
holy crap! Yeah, it looked like something circa 2005. Yeah, NASCAR 2005.
Yeah, so that was pretty crazy. But anyway, getting back into it, it was at the end of the day, it was Lee, and Lee ran off with it. He was going to win the race, but the caution came out when Timothy wrecked. I believe it was Timothy's wreck when he blew a tire.
It was about 15 to go.
And it came down to being Lee versus Josh. Lee took the outside, and I thought there was no chance he was making it out of turn 2 with Barry on the inside. Barry's always been very aggressive on the bottom. He'll swat you out of the way in a heartbeat, and that's how he's won so many damn races. He's really good at pushing somebody up and making that move at the right time. And he tried his hardest to do that to Lee, but Lee's car was too strong, and I think they were wallering all over each other for about 3 laps. Then Lee crossed him over, got back underneath him, and he did the same thing to Josh, but Lee got him out in the marbles, and Josh fell back to about 4th, I think. And it was pretty much history after that. Taylor Gray came along strong, finished 2nd. Right? Was it Taylor? Yeah, Taylor, I think, came back and finished 2nd. Yeah, it was Taylor. He ran out of laps. He was actually pretty quick. Like, he probably could have competed with him. But at one point, the racing was 4 wide. I mean, it was a great overall day.
I mean, at the end of
attendance was insane.
At the end of the race, that last restart, there were six or 7 cars that had a legitimate shot to win the race.
Yeah, I mean, anything could have happened there at the end. And it was a great turnout, a great event. I'm sure the Cars Tour made their money that they needed to continue the series and continue putting on badass events like that. And man, I hope that that comes back, and I hope that that's a thing that can change venues.
What was the general admission?
I don't know, man. I never did see that. I'd say probably damn 30, 25, 35.
I think it was $25.
Okay, well
Probably
they didn't
25.
upcharge it then,
No.
because it was 25 to get in Hickory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
that's good then. I would figure they would upcharge it, but
And that's pretty high. I mean, no doubt. The general admission tickets are pretty high.
you can go to a
And-
truck race for $35. So
Yeah, but then again, you get 10 times better racing. So
Yeah, for
you
sure.
get what you pay for, I guess. So,
I mean, you can go to a truck race at Bristol for $35,
Mhm.
but
I mean, that was one of the
Arguably, I mean-
best late model races we've seen in
Oh, yeah.
a long time.
yeah,
If
I
not
would.
ever.
I 100% agree. That's definitely the best Cars Tour race I've watched, and that's with a lot of good competition. Just the prestige between those two drivers was cool seeing them go head to head. And at the end of the day, that's what we all wanted. You know, that's kind of like Jimmy Johnson versus Kyle Busch right there. You got the new guy that's winning all the races, and you got the guy that's won all the championships and 100,000 races before. So, so at the end of the day, that was really, really cool. And we were glad to see Lee Pulliam win after his first time being an Uber driver, which he got fired pretty quick.
Did you see the
Lee
decal they put
yeah,
above the
no passengers. I was
Yeah.
thinking about making a T-shirt that says "No passengers" with a little goat on it. I thought that would be pretty damn cool. I was gonna make it tonight and
well,
wear
he
it.
might
but-
try to
Yeah.
sue you for.
No, I mean,
Copyright
I would just give it to him, but it'd be cool as hell. Anyway, but so congrats to Lee on being able to pay your fine now. Should be good in that department.
and then some.
Yeah, you can go give free Uber rides to anybody. I mean, you're good for a damn year on giving Uber rides. So overall, the penalties we didn't talk about the penalties really, did we? No, because last
No,
week fell on
it
shit.
wasn't, yeah.
We had a dramatic failure last
Yeah.
week. Yeah, so
Typical windshield deep fashion.
the fines were pretty insane. Forrest Reynolds is not allowed back at the racetrack.
Definitely.
Anywhere.
Yeah,
Well,
and
Any NASCAR
Lee Pulliam
section
was
of it.
fined $1,500 for protecting himself and his race car.
Yeah. And he was also suspended.
Phillip was he's suspended for 2 weeks, but there's no races.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no race. So it
Uh,
was
Phillip
in
was
name.
also fined. Damn, I don't know how much he was fined. Probably $1,500 as well, which is crazy to me.
He was fine and he didn't even do anything.
Yeah, Phillip
He
had
got
nothing
wrecked.
to do with it.
Philip got wrecked and got fined
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
and suspended.
They're
At the end of the day, if anybody should be pissed, it should be Phillip. It's like
because his crew chief suspended and he got fined and
Yeah.
he got a wreck race car.
yeah, so. But
It's all in all, bad
it is
deal.
a big. It's a big. That's pretty much NASCAR for you as far as when they get involved in short track racing. Usually nothing good
And
happens.
Sobo even come out and said
They didn't
they
support it.
suggested they suggested to NASCAR no penalties for Lee or Phillip.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
Yeah,
NASCAR is
it's
smarter
pretty
than all
crazy
of us.
that they ended up dropping the hammer on that. But that's kind of old news now. So we'll move on to me and Landon was at Hickory on Saturday night. We went and watched the local guys. My cousin Tyler ran his first race of the season. In the late model division with about 16 cars.
Yeah, it was 14.
14 cars
Yeah,
there.
Well, 15 if you want to count the ride along.
Oh, yeah, I had a start part. So the winners of those races was Vince Midas, limited driver from last year, picked up his first late model win. He's always showed good speed at Hickory.
Mm-hmm.
He led some in the Cars Tour race, so obviously he's good at Hickory. That's cool to see him get a win. And then the second race was won by Charlie Watson after blowing a motor in practice and then
that
changing.
eventful day.
Yeah, then changing his motor, not qualifying, starting in the rear, got up to about seventh.
Yeah,
I think he
finished seventh.
inverted to so
Started
he
third.
inverted to third and won the race. Walked the dog actually, and that was really cool. It was cool to see that. So Charlie Watson gets the wrench of the week award for sure. Charlie Watson and team,
Yeah, it was crazy. We were watching them.
they were thrashing.
Yeah,
They were freaking thrashing.
You know, once they finished the on track autograph session, everything, they were still in their pit stall right there in
Yeah.
turn 4, and we were sitting in 4, and we could watch them working on it, and they were busting their ass trying to get it all put together, and literally as soon as they got ready to roll for the first twin,
Yeah.
he fired it up and
Yeah, they
went.
let Charlie go make a couple laps and it stayed together pretty
Yeah.
good.
Did
so.
they use the lift gate as the motor engine hoist?
I do not know.
I
They had
didn't
it in it
know.
when we were there,
I wouldn't. Yeah, I think they'd already had the
So
motor sitting in
I've
it.
seen that many times at Hickory Motor Speedway.
but it was. I mean, it was a pretty good show. The late model
Yeah,
races
late
were
model
good.
races were great.
The best race of the night
Street
by
stock.
far was the street stock race.
Yeah, Drew Cox
Yeah.
put on a show, man. Drew started on the pole, led the first probably half of the race, maybe not half, maybe first 10 laps. Caution came out. He got wrecked on the restart, right hooked by I don't know yet
Who they are?
if the 16 street stock Jonathan
Oh
Smith.
yeah, Jonathan Smith. Yeah.
I think that's who Drew was mad at. So I think that is who. I mean,
Right
he had
hooked
his rear tires lifted up.
Yeah. No.
And-
Well, I don't know if he was mad at him for right hooking him or mad at him, whoever was behind him, for picking him up down the straightaway.
Yeah, no, you're right. But
'Cause
he
I think
was mad
16
at the
was second.
16. So I guess the 16 finished him off.
Yeah. Regardless, it was.
But he was picked up. I mean, he was screwed by two people there at the end of the day. I mean, he wasn't making it to turn one.
Not only that. So Drew got wrecked for the lead and going into one. Went to the back, and this was a decent street stock field. It was like,
Oh, yeah.
12 or 13, I
Yeah.
think?
And 4 or 5, good street
Good
stocks.
street stocks, yeah. He went to the back and then restarted from the back, drove all the way back to like third,
Yep.
and was coming,
Mm-hmm.
and then got wrecked again,
Yeah.
and then went to the back again, and then drove all the way back to what, third again or fourth,
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, he got wrecked. He finished third.
Yeah.
He got wrecked again by
EB.
EB. 03 wrecked him. Absolutely never lifted. Drew rooted him out of the way, and then
EB said
he wasn't putting up with that.
I believe
Them,
they've
he-
had a little bit of a history.
Yeah,
too.
they have.
Yeah.
He never lifted. Went to go video the fight. Our good friend Monty Cox went to go see if we could see a good fight. There he is. Went to go see if we could see a fight, and didn't happen. Good though. Nobody got arrested or anything, but it's always good whenever the old
First week in a while at Hickory
the
Motor Speedway.
Cox Motorsports crew has a little drama going on because
Yeah.
they're ready for some action. But Drew, man, you did a hell of a job. It was fun to watch you. We was pulling like hell for you.
Oh, yeah.
We was cussing everybody that wrecked you.
Yep.
And yeah, so we was real happy to see you run good. You're gonna win a lot of races this year, and it's gonna be fun to watch. Moving on, the limiteds at Hickory, there was only 5 cars, and that is very unfortunate because the limiteds at Hickory historically has been some of the best limiteds around by far, the best cars that run. And dude, the only answer I have for that, my thinking is that they're not really limiteds anymore. So like some of the limited guys are basically just going late models, like if you're gonna go spend $500-600 racing limiteds, why not go spend $1,200 just running late models? And you know what I'm saying? Because it's the same motor, same damn weights. The only difference is the carburetor.
My first thought was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Because like limited was the place to be at Hickory, mainly
yeah.
because still, granted, the prices really haven't changed. Like, I see what you're saying, but also you can spend, your tire bill is $150 in limited.
Yeah, the prices have always been the same.
So you're looking at like $300, $350 roughly, depending on how many people you pay to sign in to get them in. You're looking at around $350 to race a limited race. It costs you $1,000 to run a late model race. Also, by the way, well, I'll talk about that in just a second. But so yeah, the prices or the cost really isn't that much different. But there's nobody running limited at all.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well, the daily cost isn't different, but like I think the fact that limited are so close to late models, why not just spend that extra money now? You know what I mean? Because like used to we had if we had a 603, me and you ran that little motor shit, and both you grenaded yours and mine. I blew the ratchet springs out of it like.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many times. So back then it was hard as hell to switch,
To just make the jump.
to make the jump.
That
Like,
was
and we
when-
were still sacrificing a lot of horsepower. Now, all I gotta do is bolt on our carburetor, and I'm good. I got
Yeah.
the same enforcer, and I can. And even last year though, like to run limiteds, it felt so odd that I felt like I had to buy an enforcer to be competitive in limiteds. So a $10,000 motor in limiteds is crazy.
Now it's not even $10,000.
It's too bad that it should. I mean, how cool would it be if limiteds at every track had a rule where limiteds were 603s and 4 junior motors and a built motor with the 350 carb on it and the spacer. Like if they just kept it simple, there would be a ton of limit. Like Dylan Hauser, he's been a limited guy ever since I started racing. And he may have ran some late model races here and there, but Dylan's always been. You've known him for limited racing. He's always been one of the limited guys.
Won the grip deal last year.
Yeah, won a ton of limited races last year, and then he's running late models now. If that don't tell you that it's just you're better off just running late models at this point, that or the rules just need to be different. Late models have got to separate themselves from limiteds if you want to have guys that can't afford to run late models to come run limiteds.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I kind of see it.
Well, I mean, limited last year, one of the biggest upsides to running limited, and the reason there was so many cars last year was because of the age change.
Yep.
So you had all these young kids, but now
they're 14.
Right, the few of those that came in, or last year we were getting what 6 of those younger kids. Well,
last year you could be 12, and then all those guys moved.
Now
up.
they're all like Gage Painter's about to turn 14. He's gonna run late model. Midas turned 14. He's running late model. I mean,
it won't be long. The Cossack 44 car,
yep.
Cossack Cossack. He'll move up. Even DeMarles, I mean, he should move up. He showed a ton of speed. He won the limited race. And given we're not taking anything away from it because the 3 cars, or there was 5 cars and there was 3 of them that was ultra competitive, and that's Cossack, DeMarles, and Vince Minus's dad.
Yeah.
And they were all 3 fast, and they would have probably won a race.
They actually stayed bunched together.
Yeah, it was still a good race. I mean, had they had 20 cars, them 3 would still probably be in the top 5.
Yeah.
So not taking anything away from them, it's just. It sucks a little bit, but at the end of the day.
Also, let me throw this out there, and this is what's hurting Hickory, period. I won the late model twin 2 weeks ago, and then I finished 6th in the second race. What do you think that paid?
As much as it paid to start the Cars Tour race at Orange
About
County.
700 or 800.
Yeah, so I won a race.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. I won a late model stock race. Granted, it's a twin, but I won a late model stock race and finished 6th in the second one, and it only paid like $800. Okay, I won a race and it paid only $400 more than finishing 6th.
Yeah.
If you win a late model race, it should at least pay $1,000. If you're gonna run twins, you should at least it should pay $2,000 between the two to win. It should at least cover. Like if you win one of those races, you should be able to pay for your at-track expenses if you didn't mock up.
Absolutely. I think. Thing is, man, like Hickory's payout isn't much different than a lot of tracks, but the tracks that do pay a lot, they're funded by some other source. Just like South Boston, like they're owned by the same people that own Pocono.
Yeah, but
So-
I mean,
Myrtle Beach has the NASCAR experience
Yeah.
that they have going on there.
So
too.
I mean, Hickory's just like everything, and I think that's a tribute to the rules. Like NASCAR's kind of screwed tracks like Hickory and Greenville Pickens and stuff like that because the rules are so shitty. They're losing car count, so now the purse goes down. So at the end of it, I mean, you would have more cars if it paid $1,000 per race.
but also,
I think
But like, where are you gonna get that 1,000 from? I mean,
think-
unless you find some, we got to get more cars there first, and then pay more. That way, they make some money to give some money.
I think part of the problem too is you don't. A couple of years ago, you had people like Pat, Rachel's, even last year, Pat.
Yeah, even Pat
Monty,
moved up.
You had those people. You had the older generation. You had the older generation that just came to run limiteds. Like that's what they did. They run limiteds, and you see this in late model stocks too. Now limiteds, for the most part, are a lot of kids who run limiteds for a year and then move up to late models, and then they run late models for a year or two. Then move out of late models, and there's just not as many kids coming in to replace each other every year when they move up. And I think that's part of the problem too.
so I'm no like I don't even know.
Words.
Statistician.
Statistician,
No.
accountant.
Yeah, I'm no accountant, but by my simple math, and like I said, I don't know what the expenses are or anything like that, but just off of 22 sets of tires at Hickory, which I believe there were more bought than that for a 16-car late model field, pay is $15,000.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, to me, and you said, and I agree with you, the purses have went down at other places, but those purses went down, but also has the cost to race because they're all doing the 2 new 2 scuff.
Yeah.
So it pays the same amount as Hickory, but you're buying 4 tires at Hickory. I don't know. After seeing that, I was kind of disappointed.
I know watching the other podcast with Kevin, the Hickory owner operator, he was talking about how much rent to just run that track is. I mean, I don't know if he
I believe it.
said the number, but I know the guy that owns it is awfully proud of it.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to pay really anything to get anything fixed around the place, but he'll definitely charge. So who knows what has to be paid just to. So yeah, even you might make 15 grand off of tires, but then again, you might have a damn 20 grand rent or some shit. Like
Yeah.
you just never know. But at the end of the day, we all want to see Hickory succeed, and we're not here because we know what needs to happen. We're just here because we want to throw in suggestions and.
Yeah, I mean, it's my opinion. It could
No.
be shitty for sure.
No,
but
I mean,
Well, if you give me a piece of paper right now, I really wouldn't know where to start.
no, yeah, absolutely
I mean,
not.
I just think it sucks.
I think there's a lot of stuff we don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah, I
as well
trust
that
the
we
upper
don't.
management
Yeah.
that's there now more than I trust myself. But it's never going to hurt for us to sit here and say what we think can happen. And they're going to laugh at us. Like, hey, dumb as hell. They don't know this, and this.
Right.
But, yeah. So
I just think as a racer,
$10,000 a month is the rent. So
okay, well, I just think as a racer, it sucks that you go and win the Premier Division, and I didn't even buy a set of tires to stick her up on in practice.
now you made out like slick butter then, didn't you?
Yeah.
Didn't buy a set of tires or nothing, and we still didn't come out to the positive after winning a race. I just think that's crap.
Yeah.
Well, I think if it is $10,000 a month, I mean that's like you said, 15,000 on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
10,000 that's going to paying rent, and then I know they run more than one race a month, but you got to think you've also got to pay the light bill, electricity. You've got to pay the paramedics, the paramedic crew to be there, the cops to be there. There's a lot of cost that goes into it as well, and it's just hard to. I think it's hard to get.
If it wasn't 8 minutes away from I can't say that because I just enjoy Hickory and I always will.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that we could find some kind of middle ground to where it made it a little better for the racers to go up there because, I mean, you do have the people like Falk and them that are renting rides, and they're always going to be there because it doesn't matter, but it's just so hard for the local racer to do it now. I mean, I guess that would be anywhere, but I just remember once again, racing at South Boston and stuff, and I never left there without making money.
Yeah, it's definitely nice.
But that is what it is.
Either way, at the end
We're
of the day,
still going back there this weekend.
Yeah, we can talk shit all day, and at the end of the day, like you said, we're still going back to race this weekend, and we will for probably the rest of our lives, no matter how much it pays. Anyway, one other thing before we get completely off topic of the Cars Tour, which we already are, but I wanted to go back to one thing that I wrote down in my notes that I kind of forgot to mention, and that is the fact that they had heat races and the last chance qualifier and had 34 show up.
Yeah, I think 6 cars missed the race.
So 34 showed up. They had heat races and a last chance qualifier. Now, the reason they did that is because they were expecting 50 cars, and they wrote that on the damn flyer, heat races and a last chance qualifier. I feel like and this is, hindsight is 2020. But looking back at it, you think like maybe next time it says, not really in the fine print, but in the rule book, they should be like, all right, if we have between 28 and 32 cars, or if we have anything under 32 cars, we go strictly off of time. We will send cars home.
Yeah.
It's provision, everything's just like it is any week, normal shit. So anything between 34 and 40, or how do I say it earlier? Between 34 and 30 and 40, we will have a last chance qualifier. The top 2 make the race. These are guys that didn't qualify, the bottom
26 on time and then 28.
26 on time, then 28 and below. Everybody heat races, top 2 make it in.
Yeah.
Anything above 40, we have heat races and a last chance qualifier. I feel like that's the number it needs to be at. So anything 32 and below, normal qualifying, start 28 cars.
Yeah.
Honestly, most tracks you should start 30.
Yeah.
I would be completely, if 29 cars showed up, start damn 29 cars.
Well, like you said, if there's 32 cars, there's no point in doing a last chance race with 4 cars.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
point. Yeah.
I mean, in reality, they could run 32 cars at most tracks, but there could be someone showing up that's 4 seconds off the pace or something like that, and
you've already got your purse payout set up.
Yeah, you want to have someone gone that shouldn't be there, but you got. So like I said, 32 below normal stuff, 32 to 40, we would have a last chance qualifier from anything 26 on time, anything below 26, top 2 make it in, last chance race. Anything above 40, heat races, the whole deal like they did. And maybe they, at the last second, they probably could have changed, and they were just like, let's just try it out. We ain't done the heat races before. Let's see how it is. Obviously, that made things really expensive because you got to buy a set of tires for the heat race.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another $700 to your deal. It doesn't sound like much after you're already spending a few grand to go race a big race like that, but it is. I mean, every tire counts. So
I think part of it too is, from what I've heard, it sounds like this is going to be an every year deal. They want it to basically be bigger than Martinsville.
yeah, I think it could be the way it was.
Seemed like this weekend went pretty smoothly as far as everything and the whole show and the procedure. So I think it was good in that aspect to do those heat races, do the last chance race when, probably more likely than not, you're going to get more cars next year.
Well,
you will have to do that.
Just like we talked about before they raced, people go to Martinsville and they're going to have 80 cars because it's Martinsville.
Right.
Everybody wants to race Martinsville. They want to say they've ran at Martinsville. Even if they don't make the damn race, they go run the heat race, they still technically raced at Martinsville.
Well, that's the same reason why people go to the test.
Orange
Don't
County,
go to the race. Yeah.
Orange County, they don't really care to say they've raced at Orange County.
Right.
But the guys that are fast as shit and can win a race, they're going there. And literally 34 cars that showed up, probably 25, maybe not that many, 20 of them guys are legit contenders, or they could win that race and nobody'd think twice about it. But, oh, okay, yeah, I can see that happening.
Right.
So, that to me, that's why I think it scared some guys away.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I feel like if you go to Martinsville on a limited budget, you could feel like, man, I can make this race. And you can make Orange County, but you don't really feel like you can win it.
Right.
Yeah, like if you're in a real low budget deal,
Yeah.
or your chances are pretty abbreviated,
Right.
to say the least. So
I mean, the sheer cost of doing a deal like that, I mean, with the entry fee and all that stuff is just...
You still pay that much to go to Martinsville.
I know, but, I mean, to me, it just... I don't know. I mean, how much do you think people... This is like a little bit different topic, but what do you think some of those large teams charge to rent one of their race cars for that race?
Easily 10 or 12 grand. Easily.
Oh, I was going to say more than that.
Yeah.
People are getting that to run a late model stock race at Hickory.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
probably more like 15.
I guarantee you someone in there sold those races for between 15 and 20 grand.
I
Probably.
guarantee.
Absolutely.
Just think about that. Like, me and you could run a truck race off of that.
Absolutely.
I mean, is it like... It's just crazy to think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, for a late model stock race, I mean, yeah, it paid 30 grand to win, but I mean, it's wild to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like people, I mean, I know what people spend to go to the Snowball Derby, and it's like 50 grand,
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
Snowball Derby is just a different animal.
which won't be as bad now that we don't have live pit stops. But
Yes.
still.
True. And I'm
That's for a
100%
different
on board
episode.
on that. Yeah, we'll definitely be cool to go down there and watch that. Obviously, have you ever been, Stephen?
Yeah, I've been a few times.
I've been to one. Have you never been, right?
I've never been.
It is.
It's fun to watch.
It's crazy how many people they bring in for that. Not just competitors, but I mean, just in stands.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a cup race when you
Absolutely.
it's literally like a cup race.
I mean, it's a show. When like me and Landon have talked about before, when you go to run a truck race, it's different than a weekly race because you feel like you're part of a show.
Yeah.
Snowball Derby is a show.
So, anyway, moving on. I feel like we kind of covered everything, car store, everything this past weekend wise, and we touched on it last weekend, but we didn't. I don't know if you heard us or not. Clark Houston, who was on with Andy last year, he made his debut at Tri-County in a super truck and ran
Southeast
pretty
Super
good.
Truck
Yeah,
Series.
finished third.
Drove for Ashley Huffman.
Yeah. Yeah, guys were renting late model stocks for $15,000 for the Denny Hamlin race. Yeah, that's
crazy.
A lot of money. So one, if you could, this is a little thing I thought up earlier. If you could make your dream 5-race late model crown schedule, 5 races, not about money, not about attendance, nothing like that. 5 damn races. If you could pick 5 tracks to have a late model schedule
So I was going to
that
say...
you want to go watch it and you think it's going to be a badass race and we'll just be happy to be there, what would it be?
Okay, well, when you first said this, what I was thinking about was, like, as a driver, as a late model driver, my first thoughts were, what are 5 races that you would like to win?
Right.
So I'm thinking about that too. That's something else we can
Well,
say. But
yeah.
I mean, it's hard because you think like prestige. I mean, you think like Martinsville because that's like drilled into our head.
It's got to be
that it's a prestigious
got to be on the schedule.
race.
Yeah.
But race wise, I mean,
It's usually a shit show.
yeah,
At the
it's
end of
not
the day,
even
it's
a
usually
race.
shit
Like
show.
it's just nose to tail, bumping people out, moving people out of the way. I mean, I think Hickory has really good racing.
It
Like
does.
the sealer kind of ruined it for a little while, but as soon as that sealer gets worn off, you can race door to door, and I mean it's hard to pass. It makes for good racing. But I think that, I mean, Myrtle Beach is always good, but you're just so worn out. I mean, that's another one that's drilled into our head as a prestigious race that you want to win.
Are we talking races that like already exist, or like
No.
if we
No,
could
no,
create a
just
schedule?
if you 5 tracks, it don't matter if they're shut down, if they don't exist anymore, or if they're
if we're
being
shut down,
built.
ooh.
I mean, I think that a 5 race schedule that I would like to see, and these 5 races that I would 150% drive to go see and or fly, would number 1, Hickory, because at the end of the day we're biased about it, but Hickory provides good racing every single time we're there. Another one after this past weekend and the way it went, Orange County. I think Orange County is a great racetrack to see races at and or drive in. Number 3, North Wilkesboro.
Yep.
I want to see North Wilkesboro have a late model race again. Number 4, Wake County. I love. No, I'm just kidding. No, Wake County's great, but number 4 is, man, I've been kind of location wise. The first 3 tracks I said are all within a couple hours of each other, but the 4th track, I've always loved Lucas Oil Raceway. I used to love racing supers there on iRacing. Disclaimer, iRacing. I didn't really drive there, but man, they always had badass trucks and Xfinity races there, and the super late model races that they've had there seem to be good. But I think late model stocks there could be cool. That's just a track that I kind of threw into the hat. That not necessarily super prestigious, but it would be cool to see a late model stock race there. And number 5 that I would put on the schedule would be I would just, I've been kind of, it's been between, like, I feel like there should be a cup track on this schedule. So between Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond.
Richmond's too big.
Yeah, Richmond's too big.
I've seen late models run there.
They
It's
try
not,
to do the Denny Hamlin race
yeah,
there.
it's hard.
Bristol is fast, and it's just so, I just don't, I think that's another track. Like, Bristol and Martinsville is kind of, they're basically brother and sister. One's just banked. You know what I mean? Like, because you're gonna have to move somebody to pass them, like at Bristol, and that the racing there.
Bristol's just a lot faster.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just super fast.
racing's different.
I don't know between those two which one I would rather go to and run a late model stock in, but I'm gonna probably say Martinsville.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you run a late model, depending on what kind of late model you're in.
Let's say one that has welds that are still together.
I mean, I think a track that we're forgetting about, which it's easy for us to, I mean, this is also in our backyard, but I mean,
Tri-County.
maybe not in its exact state right now, but Tri-County is very racy racetrack.
Yeah, that's a good one there. Hampton Heat, Bobby Isaac at Hickory, Myrtle Beach race, Orange County race, and end at Martinsville. So, yeah, pretty similar there.
So I got one that y'all didn't say that I think would be great to watch late model stocks at, would be Nashville. I think a late model stock race at Nashville.
Someone said Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville would be cool as shit, too. I didn't think about Nashville.
It's really fast. It's worn out, too.
Yeah, I think and not only that, if we're talking from just a going and driving standpoint for a fan, you've got a lot of stuff to do around Nashville. Like, you know, you're not just going for the race where if you drove to Hudson, North Carolina, go to Tri-County, there's not much to do. Where if you drove to Nashville, I mean, there's, you know, you can make a whole weekend out of it. So I think that would be
Ronnie had a good one, too. Hickory Motor Mile, IRP, Nashville, Concord. Concord's a good one.
I think you made a good point about
How would you put the Bobby Isaac over the throwback? I mean, he's not, I don't think he's putting, it's just that track. We're not talking actual races, just that particular track, but
I would rather win the Bobby Isaac race than the throwback race.
I would too.
Yeah.
I just would.
I would take a throwback, or,
My dad has a trophy. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care about any of that crap. I mean, my dad has a Bobby Isaac Memorial Trophy. I want a Bobby Isaac Memorial late model trophy to put beside it. I mean,
there's a lot more prestigious names that's won the Bobby Isaac Memorial than the Cars Tour being that the car store's 5 years or 4 years old, I mean, obviously, but still, yeah. It's just, I guess it's a Hickory thing. I think if you're not from Hickory,
Yeah.
you wouldn't give a shit about winning the Bobby Isaac over a car store, because car store pays more. It's more prestigious right now, but at the end of the day, 50 years from now, we can say we won the Bobby Isaac Memorial over a throwback race. You know what I mean? Like, that's
I mean,
not to take anything away from the throwback race.
yeah,
but.
no matter where my career goes in racing, some of my goals will always be, I mean, I've won a decent amount of late model races at Hickory, but obviously my end goal, I don't care what it is in the sport, I want to win the Fall Brawl, I want to win the Bobby Isaac, and I wish the Dwight Huffman Memorial was still around, because when I first started racing, that was like such a big deal, and I hated to see it go away. And then winning at Tri-County was pretty big for me too, because I don't know how many opportunities, I'm going to get to race there. But
The Dwight Huffman Trophy had a TV screen on it one year.
yeah, it was, the Dwight Trophy was freaking awesome. I remember it was like a big wheel, and it was
Yeah,
just wild. But yeah,
definitely. It's just Hickory guys are gonna want. I mean, that's just how it goes. My dad and my grandpa and your dad are on the wall at Hickory, and that's something that, I mean, my grandpa raced there in the Dash Series, not late models, but either way, it would be cool to, if you win a couple Bobby Isaacs and a few late model races, maybe we can put our names beside them, whether it be on the Tradition or the. I guess technically we should already be for Tradition.
yeah, I'm going to pay hell getting my name on there. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah, so so that's our tracks that we would go to. Nothing really crazy off the wall. A few of you guys said IRP, a lot of Nashville. I would definitely settle for Nashville. Five Flags. I've got to run at Five Flags in a pro late model. It's a cool track. It's kind of reminds me of Hickory. 2 different corners, a lot faster. You got to run there's a chip rule there, and you hit the chip the whole way down the backstretch. It's just it's ridiculous. Or a gear rule. And so anyway, moving on. We talked a lot about racing so far, but there's something else I wanted to bring up.
Oh.
So today I was watching the Golf Channel or actually it was last night, and it was just talking about the Masters, which are coming up this weekend.
Hello, friends.
Yeah, hello, friends. Jim Nance here. So the Masters are coming up, and Sir Nick Faldo, a very illustrated golfer from the UK. He's now I think illustrated. I meant to say decorated golfer.
You said illustrated.
Very decorated golfer. He's now an announcer. So
a hell of a
anyway,
painting.
his name is Sir Nick Faldo. I was sitting there thinking, and I've seen that my whole life. Like, how the hell do you get the name Sir? So I know on Game of Thrones or any other medieval movie, it is because they're a knight. If you get knighted or you're an anointed knight, your name becomes Sir Stephen Parsons or Sir Dylan Wilson or Sir
That's never gonna happen.
Landon Huffman. Well, turns out you don't. Nowadays, you get knighted or
So they don't touch the sword on your shoulders anymore.
Well, yeah, I still do that, but nowadays you get knighted by doing something great for your homeland of the UK. They're knights anyway. So in other words, Nick Faldo, champion golfer, he gets knighted. I don't know if that's the correct term, but that's basically what it is.
So there's no application we can fill out. To be
Well,
knighted.
I'm getting somewhere with this. Then also Elton John.
Yep.
He's a knight. Well, I looked it up. I was like, man, how do you get knighted in your own country? Well, it turns out the U.S., you're shit out of luck. You can't be a knight for the U.S.
Hold on a second. This is a perfect time to announce that both myself and Dylan are now Sir Dylan Wilson and Sir Landon Huffman.
For $145.99, you can become a knight in the country of Greenland. Yeah, just look it up.
Anybody can.
Oh yeah, yeah. So basically, I've got to get I gotta call some people to get my my social security card changed to Sir Dylan Wilson.
Yeah. So from now
on, you call us anything other than Sir Landon or Sir Dylan, then
that's it.
It's
fight.
It's like doctor.
I'm gonna get my
Like
army of 10 on you.
It's rude to not refer to you as sir.
Yeah, it's literally like you got to say, just like they say Sir Nick Faldo every time they talk about him. And you don't have to say, hey, sir. But if you write my name down, you write Sir Dylan Wilson.
That's what you write them
But
checks
anybody
to.
can do this. $145.99. You can become a knight.
Man, that carries like a lot of weight. I don't think I can handle that kind of pressure. I don't know if I can live up to being a sir.
So Dylan is now, what is it called when you can marry people?
Oh, I'm an ordained
Yeah.
minister. I've been an ordained
yeah.
minister for 2 years.
Yeah. So now he's a knight and an ordained minister. So
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
jack of all
probably
trades.
I've got some more things in the waterworks. They're a little more controversial, so we're gonna have to wait on those. But yeah, I'm also an ordained minister technically. I was
Yeah.
gonna marry my friend Lambo, and his damn wife fired me. Damn Kara, she fired me. I didn't even get to do it. I mean, I didn't even get to. Actually, I practiced at a Halloween party drunk. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I married all my friends. Actually, you're married.
Me?
Well, yeah, remember I married you and Brooke that night. Damn. So
That's news.
yeah, so you're married.
Huh.
Actually, you didn't get a marriage certificate.
He did just get wet from.
Let's see
news.
here. I'll look through some stuff here. Oh, Diane Combs said, "What did you think about the crowd at Bristol?"
Sad.
Very, very sad. Sad story.
You can't
Retweet
even-
if you
it's-
cry every time.
You can't even use the. A lot of times you can use the excuse of, "Oh, it was bad weather forecast." It wasn't. I mean, there's really no excuse for it.
The
but-
damn day race. Screw a day race.
It's confusing because I remember the night race last year was packed. I mean, sold
Well,
out.
Wait till damn next year when the damn race is a freaking playoff cutoff race.
Yeah.
Man, that.
Well, I guarantee
about it.
this year, the night race this year will be close
yeah.
to sold out.
It was last year, too.
I don't understand.
Like you said, but
Should I tell Trevor Townsend that I'm now an anointed knight? And
Yeah.
he should refer to me as sir.
So we're not anointed. That means you got chosen by your country.
Oh, damn. I just paid the fee.
Yeah, we're paid knights.
We're selected.
We're
Greenland.
no, I don't. It's actually not
We
Greenland.
cheated.
It was kind
Greenland's
of
the one with the ice, and Iceland's the one with the green.
yeah. Greenland. It was spelt kind of like Greenland, but it was something else. I don't know what it
A
was.
fake country?
No, it was a real country. It was somewhere in like Europe. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't Greenland. I just said Greenland because I couldn't pronounce the name. It was like something like that.
Exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Sweden.
So we're knights. We're knights of that country now, and I don't know what to tell you. You looked at me the wrong way. Pull a sword out. Yeah. So anyway, now that we're knights, yeah, we will be called sir by everyone at the racetrack.
Reverend Sir Dylan
I I'm Reverend Sir Dylon Wilson. You get a damn what is it, certificate? I'm gonna hang that some bitch right here that we are knights. We just gotta pay for it. We gotta pay for it first.
Yeah, if there's anybody that wants to sponsor our quest to be a
If
knight,
you want to
That
sponsor,
sounds just like you can go to like bartender school for like 2 weekends.
yeah, but there's nothing cool about being I'm a
You get a
bartender.
certificate that says you're a certified bartender.
Yeah, but you don't get to change your name.
he's already a
I'm
bartender.
a reverend and a
You
sir,
are.
and technically, remember that
at
video?
Club Blue
where
Rag.
Yeah. I'm basically already a bartender.
You're basically a jack of all trades.
I am. What's other things that you can go and pay for to be?
Now, this is
Anointed.
This is an interesting topic here, but
You get way off the cusp here.
now, what if you could utilize the Sir Knight deal for the diversity program?
We're on to something.
We are.
We're
I'm gonna have
on
to look
something
into that.
there.
I have to look into that.
I
I don't think Germany has
Well,
knights,
well, at
so
the
I'm
end of the
out of
day-
luck.
I think I'm shit out of luck because I'm white as ghost. I don't think there's any getting past that.
I'm white
Well-
too, but I'm part Indian.
Do you have a card? Are you card carrying Indian?
No, I tried. Yeah, so I don't know if I should be telling this, but
We told this on the first episode
did I?
this year.
That I applied for the diversity
Yeah.
program?
Do you not remember talking about that?
No. Oh,
we
well.
literally had like a 10-minute
Never
conversation.
mind.
He might have been drinking some diesel.
That's why. Oh, that's why he's saying that probably.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Affirmative.
we have
You may be Indian. I'm like Dutch, Irish, Scottish, and every other white, Caucasian nationality.
I am Irish German.
So we may have some issues there.
I've got a
They run-
I'm actually a quarter Germ.
I have a perfect hat for you.
Yeah.
That I just got out of my diversity or my I just found it in my thrifting business. Hold on, let me pull it up here.
It's
I
German?
need a German flag.
No, it's the perfect hat for you, dude. Like, I'm talking, you should wear it on the show.
I'm not a big leprechaun guy.
It's not. It's really good though.
Not
I mean,
huge
it's,
on the Celtics.
I'm gonna say that it's like
Like
for
a
sure,
German soccer team, yeah, I could rock with that.
It's for sure one that.
Is
oh,
it
no.
about Oktoberfest?
Oh no, it
Beer fest?
disappeared.
Well, see, every now and then we run into these kind of issues.
Well,
all right.
oh well.
Now that we are treading in dangerous waters, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, which actually, before we do this, Darrell Waltrip's retiring. He announced his retirement, and as he's had some mixed reviews the last few years, but at the end of the day, Darrell has devoted his entire life to NASCAR, and we should all be more than grateful. And even if you didn't like his commentating, don't hate on him.
You got to respect what he's done
Respect
for the
him.
sport.
He had some odd terms. Don't get me wrong.
You need more Clarence. Clarence?
But at the end of the day, there's going to be things that we're going to laugh about forever. And for the rest of our lives, when our kids are going to listen to Darrell Waltrip like we listen to Ken Squire. I mean, really. That's how it's going to be. And they're going to be like, man, you know how we think it's so damn cool to hear Ken Squire talk at the throwback race. Darrell Waltrip's going to come back and commentate the throwback race here in 20 years. With good health and good fortune, and our kids are gonna watch it and be like, "Holy hell,
Yeah.
that's the guy I used to watch."
I can't believe some of the things that have been said about
Yeah.
DW. Like,
Oh,
I don't know if y'all
stupid
read the
negative.
AP article. I mean, it was just I was just bashing the man, and you're talking. DW is not only one of the nicest people in the garage.
Yeah.
He's one of the most intelligent. He's one of the most successful, and you gotta respect what he's done for the sport.
I don't tend to read anything from AP. I never have. I don't really respect any of their writers or anybody that's involved with
It
it.
was terrible. I mean, it was one of the worst articles I've ever read.
I couldn't tell you any name, but if it has anything to do with NASCAR, it's probably and they write it, it's probably bullshit.
It was.
So
Yeah.
So that's no surprise at all. But moving on, Darrell Waltrip, we hope he has a great retirement, and we thank him very much. No matter what you think about it, you just make sure you give him some respect. I think all of us know that good and well. Everybody in here is a bunch of good people. So
Building off of that, I got a question for y'all.
what's up?
Who do you think's going to replace DW next year?
Man, I don't know. Would it be?
It's not going to be Harvick.
Hopefully not McMurray.
I think it.
I
I
don't
mean,
think it'll be
he
McMurray.
already works for Fox, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be McMurray.
I think it will be McMurray or
His voice is too high pitched
You,
for Fox.
you got to think. We all know when Harvick retires in 2, 3, 4, however many years it's going to be, he's going in the booth. I mean, we all know that. So I don't know who they're going to get, until he retires.
I mean, I think the people that we have right now that will be in the booth, we have Harvick that's going to go to the booth. We've got Keselowski that will definitely go to the booth, but he's got a lot of years left.
Yeah.
But he's going to go to the booth for sure. He's been in the booth for like the last 3 years, and he does a really good job. I'm trying to think.
I'll tell you somebody who I think is going to go to the booth whenever they retire.
Clint is really funny too, by the way. But
I bet you check.
Hell no, Spencer Dickinson is not going to be Landon Huffman. We cannot have him yelling the whole time.
I bet you Chad Canals goes.
He
to
was in the-
booth once he retires.
well, they
He's
said-
doing the Xfinity race this weekend.
yeah. So yeah,
But there's no
That's
telling.
it's also a good time to announce that I am the replacement for DW. So
Yeah, Landon Huffman is.
Get off of him, man!
yeah. I mean that's why they like me.
God.
Something different, Just throwing a
Fire and
little
passion.
curveball in there.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing about some unfiltered.
Did you end up getting your mic shut off that night?
I did.
yeah, several times.
I wish y'all could have heard the rest of the stuff I said.
Yeah. Well, anyway, another thing that I wanted to touch on right before we get off here is this little segment that I call this or that, and I'm going to read off some stuff, and all you do is simply just say one or the other. We're all going to chime in at certain different times. Starting off with coffee, and everybody else chime in too. I want to hear some of y'all's reactions, especially if you disagree with us.
I can already tell you it's not gonna be coffee.
Number one, coffee or tea?
Ooh, that is a hard one.
Hot
probably
tea.
coffee.
I think it's talking hot. So hot tea or hot coffee?
Coffee.
Neither.
I spoke too soon.
Dude, you can't say that. If you've got to
Dude,
drink
I
one.
don't drink either of
You
them.
ruined it. You just ruined
Coffee
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I drink some coffee, but it's got to taste
Man,
like a
Landon
donut.
messed up his announcing chance. Yeah, he blew that.
Yeah.
it. As long as it's not like black coffee.
Oh, come
My
on,
coffee's got
man.
to taste like a donut. I like some frappuccinos.
Oh, I like some girly coffees.
Oh,
shit that
that counts.
tastes like a
y'all.
milkshake.
That counts. Coffee. If it's, I mean,
It's not hot.
A frappe. Yeah.
Some frappuccinos.
Well, I guess you're right. I did say hot. Well, I just overall, I would go with coffee.
I mean, I don't know anybody who drinks hot tea.
I don't drink tea.
Tea.
Period.
I've drank hot tea before.
You drink hot tea.
I've drank it before, and I don't drink it every day. Some people do. I mean, I'm not
don't-
British.
I don't.
I drink it every
You're not-
morning.
you
A
can't
hot
be a
cup
knight,
of
so you're
tea.
not British.
Yeah. I've drank it for health benefits. Like they've got this kind that puts you to sleep called Sleepy Time Tea. You gotta try it out if you ain't never. Yeah, dude.
I need to be careful on that. I mean,
No, it's USDA illegal. It doesn't have any marinara in it. We're good.
Jared Harmon said
it's just melatonin.
tea
man.
with a pound of sugar.
Tea, pound of sugar. Yeah. That one's not gonna ask that one. Look at the second one.
Let me see it.
Two.
Oh,
Can't ask that one.
All right. That one's stupid. Dresses or skirts? Neither. Moving on. Books or movies? Movies.
Movies. I haven't read a book like start to finish.
I've
since,
read
middle school.
Dale Jr.'s book. That's about it.
yeah,
In
that's
the
like
last 2
literally the
years.
only book that I've read in the past. Yeah,
I'm ashamed to say I haven't even read that.
I read it.
Chinese or Italian food?
Italian.
Chinese,
Nah,
man.
Italian. I'm going with Italian food.
Yeah, well,
Italian.
pizza's an Italian.
We're not
food.
talking.
Is it?
There's a difference in Chinese and
I
Japanese
mean, I'm
food
just
there.
saying.
You know that, right?
I mean, I like China Garden buffet, but
Dude, a China Garden buffet does not count for a Chinese
it's
cuisine.
Chinese food.
Do you
No,
get
they
rice?
got freaking pizza and chicken
It's
tenders.
Chinese pizza.
Okay, well, if you go
Ain't
to, if
nothing
you go to
damn
Poncho's,
Chinese
if you go to
about a
Poncho's in
pepperoni
Granite
pizza.
Falls, they have cheeseburgers, but it's still Mexican.
All right. Well, anyway,
Well,
God dang, I can't ask that one either.
I mean,
Please.
you want to be a little risque?
This is no. This
yeah,
is
we-
beyond that.
We need. Let me see.
Look at. Oh, this is a good one. Chocolate or vanilla? Ice cream.
Chocolate. Oh,
I'm going with chocolate, but unless it's got cookie dough in the vanilla, then I go vanilla.
Like
but if we're
tonight-
just talking straight chocolate or straight vanilla, I'm definitely going chocolate.
I'm kind of thinking I'm a vanilla
you
guy.
need to, we
What?
need to ask a risque one. Like not too bad. but,
Risque.
Yeah, I'm a vanilla guy for sure.
we know.
All right, risque. You
You
say
could have been in Jerry's. and
jazz
vanilla.
or classical?
Huh?
You say risque, jazz or classical? Going smooth jazz for
I'm more
sure.
of a-
A
more-
smooth elevator jazz
I'm
all
more
day.
of a more of a classical flute type guy.
All day.
Wait, how about this one? Tattoos or piercings on a girl?
Ooh, that is a tough one.
And we're talking lots of piercings.
Tattoos, I think.
I mean, I'm
Would you
not
rather her have 2 full sleeves or a nose ring?
Like, are we talking like a septum or like in the
Oh no, we're just
nostril?
talking like a nice little
something
bull
she
hook.
can take in and out.
Oh, definitely a
Nose ring for sure.
100%.
Yeah,
I'm just not a tattoo person.
I'm not opposed to like
I'm-
a tattoo here and there, but you're talking for like full
I
sleeve.
think certain ones can rock it.
That's just not my
Ruby
forte.
Rose.
All right, antique or brand new?
brand used.
Antique for sure.
I've had brand used.
I'm gonna have to go with. I don't know. It just depends
Depends
on the
on what it
context,
is,
I
yeah.
guess. But
I've
guess
been on
if
the
something was
antique.
worth the same price. I mean, I'm
usually
into
can't
antique stuff. I guess I would go with that.
I've been on the antique kick lately.
Probably antique for now.
There's a difference between vintage and antique. Antiques, we're talking like 1800s.
All right,
Oh, well, I ain't messing with no 1800s stuff, but I mean, you bring me your 90s
Some-
gear.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Marble.
Not even close.
Marvel.
I already bought tickets to see Avengers Endgame.
Raisins or nuts?
Nuts.
Nuts. These
Who
nuts.
eats raisins? These nuts.
Chocolate covered raisins.
Have y'all ever bitten into a cookie that you thought was chocolate chip and then it was raisin and then never been more disappointed in your life?
Yeah,
No, but-
Because I've been
ran into
there.
that.
I got a
before.
funny story for you.
I'm scared.
One time we were in Daytona and I was like a little toddler, and I was in my grandpa's. Well, he didn't think it was a raisin, but I was in my grandpa's motorhome, and
Would you eat rat shit?
no, I guess I shit on myself, and a little ball turd rolled down my leg, and my grandpa picked it up and thought it was a milk dud.
Oh
and,
no!
and sniffed
God
it.
Almighty!
Oh, you didn't eat it?
No,
Oh,
he
thank
almost did.
That's terrible. That shouldn't even be. I'm cutting that out. I'm gonna throw up.
I'm being honest with you.
Freckles or dimples?
Dimples.
Where?
Well, there's really only like 2 places on the human body that really has dimples.
I mean,
I'm gonna have to go with dimples on that one.
Across the board.
I
Yeah,
got
across the
dimples. Yeah, I got dimples. You like that, baby? What's up? Hunting or fishing?
Hunting.
I'm a fishing person.
Hunting.
Fishing is so boring. Like I can't. Well, like they're both like.
Have you
very-
went hunting before?
One time.
One time? I mean, I was just generally asking. I didn't know if you went hunting before.
I've gone fishing before on our dock, and I can't do it.
I mean, if
It
I had to
sucks.
pick, I
That
would.
is not even like fishing on your dock. That is not even
Dude, there's
fishing, bro.
catfish around
That's
my
like, what do
dock.
you do? Put a bobber on there and throw it out there and try to catch a brim?
No, I go to the gas station.
Well,
get
you
some
don't like
worms.
bobbers?
You gotta
No,
go
I
like
mean-
real fishing.
No,
Yeah.
I go to the gas station. I get like worms.
Night
That's
crawlers.
not. That's still not like you gotta go like
When have you been legit fishing?
a lot.
Since when?
We went
Since
surf
every
fishing
year.
last year. We did. That was
Yeah.
my first time doing super hardcore surf fishing, but I've done a lot of bass fishing, like off of bass. I
Bass
guess
fish-
what he's trying to say is, would you rather bass fish on a bass boat or go surf fishing like at the beach, or
Yeah.
would you rather deer
Sit in a
hunt
tree stand.
or turkey hunt?
Yeah.
Or that's basically what we're asking.
Oh, well, I would go hardcore fishing, like deep sea fishing. I would do that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
I
see you
mean-
deep sea fishing before I could see you in a tree stand with
Yeah.
a bow for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Me, I like hunting, and the results speak for itself. Look on the wall, biatch.
I've just
so
never. I don't know. I like dove hunting.
I've tried to
and
take
stuff
you
like that.
hunting.
I
and
know.
you
I,
won't go.
I was gonna go.
We were gonna go last year, and you
Yeah, we never got to it.
ruined it.
No, I'm gonna go. I don't know. It's just not really my
Early bird or a night owl?
Night owl.
night
100%.
owl.
Yeah,
I
night
like
owl.
night
But
owl.
now I'm forced to be both, and now I am belligerently tired, and I'm dying slowly.
Man, I regularly don't go to sleep until 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
Regularly.
I'm anywhere. I go to sleep around 12 to 1, and I wake up at 5:30.
Let's ask another risque one.
Let's see here. I gotta find one.
I probably ought to wrap it up soon.
Yeah, same here. I gotta go practice for a lead race.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah. I'm trying to find one here. Cowboys or aliens?
Like, are we saying
Cowboys.
which ones exist?
No, just which one do you like better?
Aliens.
Ass.
Alien movies are better than cowboy.
I
movies.
got the
My
horses in my
bag.
Yeah, going Cowboys on that one. Sci-fi or fantasy?
Sci-fi.
Yeah,
Fantasy.
Sci-fi.
Like fantasy, you getting some like.
Fantasy's
Hey.
a little.
Hey,
What is considered fantasy? Hentai.
I mean,
There's a lot of things to
I
be
like-
considered fantasy.
I like
So
sci-fi.
We're going with sci-fi because we're going to stick with
I
Star
like
Wars.
sci-fi. Yeah, I like
There's a
Star
lot
Wars.
of categories that fall.
Pancakes or
fantasy.
waffles?
Waffles.
Really? Ah, man, that's
Pancakes,
a,
bro.
that's a tough one.
Man, I don't know. Like Waffle House, 1:00 in the morning.
I pictured you as a waffle guy.
What is that supposed to mean?
It doesn't mean anything. or something.
I don't. That's tough for me, man. Because I like them both. I really just don't prefer one over the other. But if I had to pick one, I'd say waffles are easier to make.
Straight up, the only waffles I ever eat are
Waffle House.
no. I'm talking the only
And I'm
waffles I
not
ever eat
talking-
are the hotel waffles
Nah,
that you
I take
get
that
for the
back.
race.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I take it back. I like pancakes better.
You can't change it.
Nah, I don't, we'll just move on.
It's like the one bite. It's one score.
Yeah, you're right. We'll just stick with that. Saver or spender?
Spender.
Spender.
Yeah, I'm a spender too.
I'm bad spender.
Are you classic or modern?
As far as just in general,
Oh God.
I feel like I'm like old fashioned.
I think I'm modern with a touch of classic. But if I had to pick one or the other, I'd probably have to go modern
I
because
feel like all of us think.
old shit breaks a lot.
I'm modern in my habits, but classic in my hobbies. Maybe.
I feel like a lot of us think old fashioned, like in the way we go about things compared
Yeah.
to a lot of people our age.
Stripes or solids? Solids.
Solids, yeah, for sure.
They're pretty.
Hardwood or carpet?
Hardwood for sure. Carpet nasty, man.
We're all on the same page.
I don't know, man. Bedroom carpet's nice because your feet ain't cold in the morning.
I'd rather
Yeah, it's also
step on hardwood than like shit.
It's also
What do you
hard.
mean?
It's also hard to clean up on the carpet.
Yeah, you're right.
You know.
What?
Uh,
No, Landon, I don't know.
I mean,
Moving
it's hard
on.
to clean up carpet. I
Bright
mean,
colors or neutral tones? Now, on a race car, I I like bright with a neutral
With
background.
neutral, yeah.
But clothing wise, definitely
Are
neutral.
you more of a like dark clothing person or a light clothing
Well,
person?
there's-
I'm more of a dark clothing
well,
person.
I'm thinking it's talking like, do you wear fluorescent shirts and bright red shirts, or do you wear like, I wear like khaki-ish colors. And dude, correct me if I'm wrong here, but when I say the color khaki, it's tan, right?
Yeah.
If you say or khaki blue, right?
There's a
Blue,
such thing.
I got
What?
blue khakis. No.
Oh, that navy blue. They're like
Navy.
Yeah,
yes,
navy blue.
So that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Navy blue. If navy blue is dark blue, then dark red, burgundy, shouldn't it be called navy red?
No, navy is a color.
Navy is like
It's not a. It's not a.
Well, I know
That's
it's
like-
called navy blue
it's
because of the
not
navy.
Like, it's not like
but I'm
dar-
just saying.
Navy is not in the same category
it's
as
not-
light or dark.
It's not like dark red and dark blue. Like it's a
Okay,
different.
well, I'll
it's
just
like, it's
keep
like
my opinions to myself.
you don't say-
Shut up.
you don't
Next,
say
next one.
magenta red and
Sunrise or
magenta blue.
sunset?
sunset.
sunset. I'm asleep in
yeah,
the morning.
Yeah, sunset. Orange juice or apple juice?
Orange juice.
Apple juice, of course.
Orange juice.
White House.
Of
Yeah, you
course,
have to
apple
say
juice.
apple juice.
I'm a lifer for apple juice.
Drinking. Well, vodka tastes pretty good in orange juice.
Yeah, but
But in the morning, I drink a Sunny D. Not
how
because
about
of Ricky
this?
Spinhouse.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah, chocolate milk.
I'm definitely not drinking regular milk by itself.
You don't drink milk?
God's terrible. Can't
Do
do
you
it.
drink regular milk?
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, I'll
I
just
can't.
I'll guzzle it.
I mean, I
I
definitely
can't do
prefer
it.
chocolate milk over regular, but
What about if you're eating hot cookies?
milk.
Fresh
Okay,
baked
that,
cookies.
Regular
okay,
milk.
that's
milk.
You know, like, you drink.
Yes, I would
you would
do
drink
that.
milk with cookies.
From
but you
now
won't-
on,
will you drink
Stefan-
milk with Oreos?
Stefan
Yes,
gets apple
But
juice
you
with his
won't
cookies.
drink milk. You won't just grab a glass of milk.
I don't. I there's. I would no. I don't want to.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Pens or pencils?
Pens.
Yeah, pens. I guess.
I don't know. Whenever I
Sharpies.
write things in pens, I remember them.
Star
easier.
Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Next. I
What
never
is Star
seen-
Trek?
Yeah. Sausage or bacon?
Bacon.
Oh,
Landon's
you
probably a
look-
sausage guy.
I
I was gonna say that to you. Damn it.
we was literally just waiting to say that. Skiing or snowboarding?
Snowboarding.
Have
Yeah,
you
I'm
ever
going
been skiing?
Never been skiing, but I've been snowboarding.
I've been skiing. It's,
Usually the skiers are the ones we made fun of. So
yeah,
You look like a skier.
you look like.
this is gonna be an ongoing joke now. All I had said was you look like a waffle guy.
It's gone downhill.
how do you describe a waffle guy?
That's how I pictured you as a waffle guy.
Sweet pickles or
Ugh.
dill pickles?
Dill.
Neither.
What the?
I
Who?
hate pickles.
Sweet pickle. It's not even a pickle.
Some people call me a sweet dill pickle.
Landon, you look like you drink pickle juice.
I drink
No,
pickle juice.
You ever took a pickle shot?
I'll drink I'll drink
No,
all.
I've never had
I
alcohol
will
in my life.
drink a
I
whole
keep forgetting.
thing of pickle juice
Keep
because
forgetting Stefan's underage.
it's great for you, especially before a race. That's my weird habit. We've talked about that before. I'll drink pickle juice before a race because it
Really?
yeah,
I did not know that.
that really keeps me from like with diabetes.
I believe I'm gonna stick with
It's,
a Gatorade.
it's easier. Well, I drink Gatorade too, but that's just like my little like. There's these little pickle shot things that are supposed to be ices, but I'll let them melt and just down them before a race, and it's always helped. I've never cramped up or I used to cramp a lot in my hands and stuff, and it's really just because the blood flow is a little bit slower with diabetes, especially
Yeah.
if your levels are up and down in a race day. And that was a big help for me, and I've stuck with it. But I would drink pickle juice on a Sunday morning too. I don't give a damn. I'll drink it anytime. That's my weird craving. Well, we've pretty much knocked out a lot. Oh, money or fame? You take money.
Money.
150% of the time. But then again, if you're famous, you can make money. But if we're talking like $1 trillion or you're super famous and broke,
Well, if you got a lot of money, you can make yourself famous.
yeah, I guess it's kind of can go either way.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
I'd rather have money
I'll
'cause
just
then I
buy
could pay-
a bunch
I
of
could-
Instagram ads.
All I
If I had
know
money, I could pay
is
to race. So.
yeah. All
Fire
I know.
Festival. 2.0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Fame's not gonna get you a ride, but money will.
I don't know if you go into that office, you got to be prepared to do anything.
yeah. I think okay. So we're beach or mountains?
Beach.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with beach there, but I love the mountains. Don't get me wrong, but beach 90% of the time. Yeah. So I guess is it ready aim fire or ready fire aim? Like what? Who the hell says ready fire aim? That's not even right.
That's like when you make a decision without thinking about it.
Oh, it's the quote.
I thought we were talking about Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Ready, aim, fire. Oh,
Only reason I know that is Iron Man.
honestly,
It's,
I'm
Iron Man.
kind of a ready, fire, aim guy.
Yeah.
Just to be completely honest, I'll do shit like if I'm painting. Nah, dog, I ain't taping this floor. I'll just paint it.
Yeah,
We
If
good?
man.
Yeah. So I'm definitely I can do that. Yeah. Okay. We're pretty much paired out on this. Oh, Bond or Born?
Pegged.
You're what?
Bond or Born?
Oh.
The Jason?
I've never been a big fan of either.
I like the James
Yeah,
Bond.
I would go with. I'm gonna have to go with old Born, man.
Really?
Yeah, I
I
like
love-
Born Identity.
I love the James Bond movies.
I haven't watched them all. I
The
just
recent
never-
ones. I don't care for the old ones.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any more cool ones. I think we're pretty much
Ronnie Evans says curly fries or waffle fries.
curly.
Waffle.
I like some Chick-fil-A waffle fries.
I mean, Chick-fil-A's waffle
All I can
fries
think
are
of is
great.
Arby's curly fries or Chick-fil-A waffle fries, and I'm definitely going with the waffle
Well, I'm
fries.
going
You ever
Arby's.
had, you ever
Arby's
had
all
Jack
day.
in the Box curly fries?
No.
They're pretty
Well,
solid.
yeah, I have, but no, you can't beat Chick-fil-A waffle
I
fries.
agree. I'm
Last
just saying.
one, Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Coke.
Coke. Definitely. Now, if we're talking Coke or Pepsi, but if we're talking Mountain Dew Sundrop, I'm going Mountain Dew.
What about Sprite Sierra Mist?
Sprite.
Yeah.
Have
Zero.
you ever had Diet Cherry Lemon Sundrop?
No.
Yeah. Now, Diet Mountain Dew or Diet Sundrop? Diet
Diet
Sundrop.
Sundrop.
But
But
Redler Mountain Dew, Redler Sundrop,
Yeah.
I'm going Mountain Dew.
yeah,
Because I just my dad was like that, so I've just kind of always been the same way. Like his snack every time we went deer hunting when I was a little kid was a Mountain Dew and a Snickers bar. So I just it was natural for me to go to the gas station, buy a Mountain Dew and a Snickers bar.
What about Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pip? I always love how these sodas have like the same name.
Yeah,
Just
Dr.
different.
Pepper, but I don't really like Dr. Pepper that
I've
much.
never-
I mean, I'll drink it, but I would
I
rather
drink
not.
Diet Dr Pepper's not bad.
What about Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi? I'm still going Diet Coke.
I don't even drink Diet of any of that. I
Coke
drink
Zero.
Coke Zero,
or-
yeah.
So, yeah.
Coca-Cola
We're all pretty-
Company across the board. pretty
Monster
much.
or Red Bull?
Oh, Monster, 100% Monster.
Is it mixed with vodka?
I don't know.
I've
Mixed
never
with
had,
vodka? I'm going Red Bull.
I've never had.
I've
alcohol
mixed
in
a
my life.
lot of
Damn, I wish
Monster with vodka, and it's good.
Oh, I've done so as well. And I've
Good.
watched you do it. And I've mixed drinks for you.
It's
that
good.
that was no, I know, but Red Bull and vodka, I mean, how do you beat that?
I like some
All
Red
right.
Bull. I just don't like Red Bull.
Grizzly or Copenhagen?
Never dipped in my
Skull.
life.
Nah, I tried to get him. I knew he would say Skull. All right. Well, tell you what, guys. It's been. I'm just now seeing some of the answers. A lot of Sundrop guys. Thoughts on the Keselowski restart and possible rule changes? Any last thoughts there, boys?
I don't know. I just listened to Radioactive, and it seemed like there was a lot of confusion on NASCAR's part and
Yeah.
Brad's and them's part.
Why don't you delay it another lap and get it put back together like they would on a short track or like at a local show? I mean,
Yeah.
I think NASCAR kind of shot him in the foot, but it's whatever.
I'd be very interested to see how that conversation went after the race in the NASCAR trailer.
Yeah. Well, Irish God dang, Irish trash can. That's kind of hard to say.
Never had alcohol before, so I don't know what that is.
That's a very good drink. Have you ever had that?
What in the hell is an Irish trash can?
It's got like Red Bull,
Is it like an Irish car bomb?
Jameson, and yeah,
It is.
same thing.
I mean,
I think I'm pretty sure I've caught it both things. The
I
best
like
thing
Long Island
is a
STs.
Vegas bomb.
Vegas bombs are good. I had one of those.
Mhm. I don't like Jaeger. That's one thing I
Jaeger's-
don't like.
I feel like it's decent sometimes. I don't know.
I hate it. Anyway, all this talking about that is making me a little thirsty. So I guess it's time to wind her on down. I know we kind of didn't. I didn't even post anything about coming on live tonight, but you guys hung in strong. Good times as always. First and foremost, we got to thank McAllister Precision Marketing for sponsoring these hooligans and coming on board for the whole season here with Windshield Deep. We are taking a couple weeks off the next few weeks. It's Easter, and the week after, which we're going to the beach, we'll be down at the same campground, so check the news, local South Carolina news. Please send bail money. Other than that, we're going to hang out. I'm sure we'll all hang out with family and stuff for Easter. I hope everyone has a great Easter. get out to your local short track this weekend. Go support racing. Landon's
Hickory.
racing. Yeah, Landon's racing this weekend. If you guys are local, go watch Landon. We already talked Martinsville or Bristol, Nick. Damn. Get with the program.
Clearly hasn't been watching.
No, not a great moderator.
Our supposed Cars Tour
Yeah,
correspondent.
Jesus. But anyway, it's been real. It's been fun. But it ain't been real fun. I will see you guys next time on the Windshield Deep podcast. I'm Dylan Wilson, Sir Dylan Wilson to you. This is Sir Landon Huffman and Stephen Parsons. As always, we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Peace.
This will be live in just a little bit.